Hi everyone, this is Crow Indigo Intuitive Tarot. How you guys doing? I am going to answer some questions. I posted a video yesterday offering to do some card pulls for folks, some free readings based on the questions that you submitted. So let me just pull up the questions I got. I was a little surprised I didn't get too many comments, I didn't get too many questions, but I'm happy to answer the ones I did get. And since I didn't get very many, maybe we'll pull a few extra cards. We'll do a bit more in-depth reading than I had thought I would have time for. So, hope that you're all well. I'm just going to do a little bit of shuffling here. Get the decks cleaned up and ready to go. I'm going to use the Star Spinner and the Lion Strider. These two are my favorites lately. The Lion Strider is the one I started doing readings with back in August. And it's a good deck. It feels right for me. It feels like a good read kind of deck. It's easy to shuffle, and it's, I don't know, I'm pretty connected with that one now. I've been working with it daily for months. There are decks that I've had for decades, and I pull them out occasionally, but they're more for my own personal readings, really, because they're so tuned to me. But the Star Spinner Tarot I recently received. This, by the way, is blue kyanite. It's a great stone for communication. Let's see if we can get a closer look at it here. It's quite a nice, different variations of color, and it's great for communication. It's great for intuition, focusing, being able to articulate what you're hoping to express, which is always a helpful add. Let's see what we have here. Just want to give these a couple more shuffles, and then we'll pull up the first question, which I think was from Lisa. Pardon me, just clear my throat. I know that's probably kind of loud for you. So for Lisa W., I'd love to see what the cards say about the connection between my horse and myself. Thank you. All right, Lisa. Lisa W., let's see what the cards have to say about your connection with your horse, or the connection between your horse and yourself. Spirit, any guidance for Lisa? Guidance for Lisa with regard to the connection between her and her horse. I am sensing that there's a question of independence here. Like, I keep hearing, "You don't own me." I don't know if that means that you don't legally own the horse, or if it's more of a on an emotional level or a soul level, that the two of you are involved, but that there is no ownership there. I'm not sure. The Devil card coming out, that can mean one of two things here. I think it can mean that there's a lot of fun, there's a lot of like entertainment involved in this connection, or it could be that there's some sort of tie, sort of an addictive tie between the two of you. Eight of Wands, some changes happening in that connection, it would seem, sort of after some period of delay in something changing. Something is changing now, and rather quickly. And then we have the Emperor, which is really a card of control. So I'm getting a lot of a sense here of who's in control. It goes back to that initial read I was getting, which was, this sense of freedom and an insistence that there's not ownership here. And again, I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means you don't own the horse, like you haven't bought the horse, or if it means on a more spiritual level that there is a bond there, but it's not one of ownership. It's not one of control. But there's a concern, I think. It seems like there may be a concern about control in some aspects. So with you and the horse, who is in control, or is one of the two of you trying to assert more control in a situation than the other is comfortable with? I don't have a horse. I used to love horses when I was small, but I haven't really done very much. I didn't really learn to ride, and I've ridden a couple of times, but not real riding, you know, sitting on the back of the horse and thanking them for not knocking me off. There's Three of Wands energy coming out with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So what I would normally see here is the Page of Pentacles is about, you know, you have a passion, you have a desire to achieve something, or to you've got a goal, basically. And with that Page of Pentacles energy, it's often you gathering your resources, making a plan, figuring out, how am I going to achieve this? How am I going to get where I want to go? How am I going to complete what I want to complete? And when it's in reverse like this, there's something standing in the way. And when it's here next to the Three of Wands, I'm sorry, I just realized you can't see all the cards very well. My apologies. Hey, I'm talking and not even looking at the camera. With the Three of Wands coming out with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, it sort of feels like you know what you want this connection to turn into. You know what you want. And I don't know if this is right, Lisa, and I'm sorry if I'm not reading well. It's a challenge sometimes to read for folks when they're not with me, but and with just the one question to go on. I know these sound like excuses, I apologize, but what I sense, which I fully admit may not be the case, is that you have a plan to control this, to own this horse, in the legal sense, like to buy the horse, to own the horse, to keep the horse, and you've got a plan and you know what you need to do to get there, but you can't get there yet. And the Three of Wands tells me that you're waiting for something. You're waiting for this is sort of the waiting for my ships to come in card standardly, which means you know where you want to go, you know what you want to do, and you can't quite get there yet. You're waiting for something. You're waiting for, maybe you're waiting for the financial ability to do this. Maybe you're waiting for the current legal owner of the animal to allow you to buy the animal. There's something blocking you here, and to me it seems like it's a financial issue. But another interpretation would be that you want to achieve something in this relationship with the horse, that you want to be able to compete with it, or you want to be able to ride in a way you aren't riding presently, and you're trying to control that situation, and you're trying to bring the horse along. And you really kind of have to wait for the horse because it's not ready yet. You know what you want to achieve with the animal, but you can't get there yet. I hope that that's helpful. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know you, Lisa, and I don't know the situation with the horse. But in relation to the question, this is what the cards are telling me. There's a pleasure in being with this animal, but there's also something that that makes you feel very tied to this creature. Something is changing now. It's not quite, you're not quite there. You're waiting on some piece of the puzzle to fall into place so that you can get to a place where you feel more in control of the situation, or to either take your connection with the animal to a new level, or possibly to purchase the horse. If it's a horse that you own now, and you might own it with someone else, or you might not have your own facility for the horse. I'm not sure. There's something that you want to achieve, and you're not able to get there yet because you're waiting on some other resource that you can't control so much. Okay, I hope that's helpful, Lisa. Let's take a look at our next question. Put the cards back in. Give them a shuffle. Pardon the noise. There's a little bit of outdoor noise because the weather is actually warm enough to open the window today, and I wanted to get a little fresh air in here. I know, burning incense, that doesn't always make the air so fresh, but got to sage this place. Got to keep it nice and energetically clean. Okay. Our next question. Just one more shuffle. Let's see who we got next. Tim is just a comment, not a question. Louise Bissonnet, or Bissonnet. Where and what from here? Where and what from here? All right. Let's see what we have for you, Louise. I hope that you are well. I have done a reading for Louise in the past. I believe this is the same Louise. I'm not certain, but I think it is. Unless there are two. Let's see what we have. Where and what from here? Spirit, what do we have for Louise? Where and what from here? All right. Let's see, Louise. We have Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Coins in this deck in reverse. There's an opportunity you feel you missed. Something you thought might be like the next thing for you, the next job or the next professional pursuit, the next way to make money, the next way to make a living, but it didn't work out. Maybe you applied for a job and it didn't work out, or maybe the opportunity just sort of dematerialized. I mean, you weren't rejected from it. It wasn't there anymore, is what I'm seeing with that card. And then we have the Four of Wands in reverse, the Knight of Wands in reverse, the Ace of Chalices, which is the Ace of Cups, and the Hanged Man. So, something didn't work out. And you've been losing a little sleep over that. I think you've been worried. You've been overthinking, perhaps. Because the sense I get really strongly is that whatever didn't work out, it wasn't meant to. It wasn't the right thing for you. It was going to be a stopgap because you're moving from fear about not having a job, maybe, or not having enough money, and so you were going to settle for something. And it wasn't what your heart was wanting you to do. It wasn't what you feel is your calling, or what you were really drawn to, or interested in, or passionate about. It was just going to be a way to pay the bills, and because you felt like you needed to do the responsible thing, right, and get a job right away, and it didn't work out. For whatever reason, it didn't work out. And so you've been kind of losing some sleep. You've been overthinking. You've been worrying. You've been running yourself a little bit too hard here. Not getting enough rest, not eating properly, perhaps not really giving yourself space for your spirit, your soul to breathe and to rest. And that's not helping. But you're a bit, perhaps, I don't know what the right word is here. Let me think. I want to say distraught. Distraught is not really what I mean, but you're sort of, in your heart what you're passionate about. You know what you care about, and you know what you want to pursue. But you're not letting that message out into the world. You're sort of feeling like you have to give up on a dream of some sort, is what I'm sensing in this this sort of fallout from that opportunity not working. Now the stress is a little bit higher. You're still out there. You're still trying to find the thing that works, and you're starting to feel like, I've got to stop spending time thinking about these pipe dreams and these crazy ambitions of mine, the things that my heart is calling me to. I don't think that's the right choice here. I'm not here to give advice necessarily, but this feels like this would make it harder. This mindset, not letting yourself rest, not loving yourself, giving yourself the nurturance that you need, and feeling like you need to give up on your dream. We all need dreams. We all need to believe, and we need somehow to find a way to chase those yearnings of our heart, and try to fulfill what we're hearing our soul tell us is our purpose. This Ace of Cups, this Ace of Chalices, this is an upsurging of feeling, of love, of strong emotion. Most of the time, this is quite a positive energy. There's this like you bonding with someone or something that really speaks to you, that you feel very nurtured by, that you feel inspired by. It's that warm, wonderful feeling, when that warmth that just spreads through your chest when you feel love. It's that wonderful energy, very inspiring, very life-affirming. And there's something in your life that makes you feel that way right now. It could be a someone. I feel like it's a something. That's just my read from Spirit. It could be someone, but I feel like it's something. And the Hangman, you're starting to get a different perspective because of that feeling, because of that wonderful, inspired feeling of love. It's shifting your perspective on things, which I think is good, because this is not this place you found yourself in after the opportunity didn't work out. It's not necessarily a place you want to be. It doesn't feel good. Let's see what we have from the Line Strider for you, Louise. What now? What next? So we kind of have a read here on where you're at, not so much on where you're going. So what is next? Oh my goodness, that's a big pile of cards. Well, I asked, and there we are. So let's see what we got. Knight of Swords, Strength in reverse. Page of Swords in reverse. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. 10 of Swords in reverse. 2 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles. All right, you can't see the cards, so let me move them up here. I can put those together. We'll put them here. So there's something or someone making you feel freshly inspired. It's helping you change your perspective on things. And can you see those? All right. So Knight of Swords, there's a feeling there that you're being called to reason things through. You're being called to kind of think deeply about the question. What next? Where to? Because you're not where you want to be, it seems. You're doubting yourself a bit, and it feels like there are messages coming to you right now that are opportunities, perhaps in disguise. They're very aligned with that passion you feel, that inspired feeling that the love gives you, that connection and that bond is giving you. There's something, messages coming in, but you're doubting that they're actually messages. You're doubting the truth of what you're hearing. So I guess that would mean maybe making some quiet space for you, to kind of shift your perspective, because the guidance here from Spirit is that you need to really think about these messages that you're doubting. So if some opportunities have come up for you, if you've gotten some communications recently about opportunities, and you're doubting that they could be, that it's something you could really do, or that you've got the resources to do it, the guidance from Spirit is that you should think more about it. Think about how you could make it work. And this Eight of Pentacles in reverse tells me that it shouldn't be about the money. Obviously, you need to eat, and you need to have a roof over your head, but there are many different ways to make that happen. And the decisions you need to make now with regard to what next and where or who or how or any of it, money shouldn't be the factor that's deciding that for you. There will always be money, but there will not always be time. That's the solid message I kind of intuitively am picking up now. What you don't do if you spend another year wondering about what you should do instead of just trying something, then you will lose the time. And the money situation, there's always a way to find money, but time cannot be replenished. It is gone when it's gone. And it seems like that's a really big theme in this right now. There is a part of you that needs to go, a part of how you've identified yourself in the past that needs to be let go. And it's in this Ten of Swords here. Let me put those over here for a second. So this Ten of Swords is, in the upright, a part of us that's dying, a part of how we've identified ourselves in the past. Something in life has shifted, and now we're letting that go, and that's good. It might be a little bit painful at first because we've identified ourselves a certain way for so long. But it's right and it's necessary, this ending, this shedding. It's in the reverse here. So you're rejecting it, you're delaying it, you're fighting it. There's something about you that needs to change, something about how you identify yourself. And what do I mean by that? So if you've had one type of job your whole life, you may see yourself as that job, right? Say you're a teacher and you've always been a teacher, and now you're thinking about opening a bakery. It's going to be really hard for you to open the bakery if you still think of yourself as a teacher, not a baker. So it's part of that sort of shedding, like snakes shed their skin, like I guess birds would molt. They let some feathers go every season or two, and I think it's this the same thing. There's part of your identity that needs to be released and let go, and you're holding on to it. So when I think about your question, it could be that you identify yourself as someone who lives in this town or lives in this country, and now maybe you aren't. Maybe that's not feeling like the right fit for you anymore. Maybe you're drawn to go somewhere else, and yet your rational side is fighting that. It's saying, no, I am who I am and I have to be. People expect me. And that's a challenge right now in deciding where to go or what to do. It feels like there are messages here for you already in your environment about what's meant for you, where you're meant to go and what you're meant to do, but you're feeling like you're not brave enough, or you're not skilled enough, or you couldn't possibly do that because you're this person, you're this type of person. But those things are calling to your heart, and maybe you are the type of person that does those things. The last two cards that came out for you, Louise, are the Two of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. There is a soul connection here, a partnership of some sort. It could be romantic. It doesn't have to be. It could be, with anyone or anything. It could be with a person. It could be with an animal. It could be with sort of a philosophy, I guess, but less likely in this case. It feels to me like this is just a spirit bond of some sort that's calling you forward. And it's beautiful energy. It really is. And there's something about this partnership that involves you working with others to learn how to do something. So for this next phase of your life, the what next, there is a mentor or a teacher that you're meant to be working with who's gone before you and done what you're interested in doing. What messages are you getting? What has been sparking your interest lately? You should find someone to talk to about how they did it. If there's someone who has that, dream job, and they somehow find a way to make money and support themselves and pay their bills, seek them out, give them a call, send them an email, follow them on social media, reach out. Most people are comfortable and happy to answer a couple questions, for someone who's looking to do what they've done, who's looking to, ask for their opinion on how things, what's the best way to get where I want to go. If you're respectful and you're polite, most people will take a few minutes and answer your email. So think about that. It's not, a really definitive answer about where next or what next, which I can't really say, but it feels to me that already. But you're doubting it. And that is just... that's just going to have, you're going to have to do the work there, but understand that it shouldn't be a decision made on money, and that there's part of how you're identifying yourself now that, it isn't fitting anymore. It's like a sweater that's gone through the dryer too many times and it's too tight and it doesn't fit and it doesn't feel right anymore. And you have a right to change. You have this one life and it's yours. Think strategically about other ways that you could pay the bills. How much do you really need? A lot of times we get afraid that, we have to take the job that pays the most, whether we like it or not, because that's the only way we're going to have some money in the bank for a rainy day. But there, the big secret in life is that there really isn't actually any security. There's only our soul's journey. And when we believe that good things are waiting for us and that things will always work out, they tend to. So I hope that's helpful, Louise. Let's see if there were any other questions here. We have Cosmic YT. When will you do another one? I think that's asking about the videos, not asking about... It doesn't really read like a question for them. When will you do another one? Yeah, I think Cosmic YT, if that's meant to be a question for me to pull cards on, just leave another comment if you would and let me know, and I will check that out. But right now I think that's just asking when I'm going to do another video. And I don't know for sure, folks, because it's really difficult for me to do live streaming video in the present situation. I've got a kid running around. He's got his music on. I've got random things making noises, and it's just... It could be done, but I can't really focus that way. So I think I'm just going to leave this video at that, with the 2 questions for you ladies. And if you have any follow-up questions, if you want to reach out to me, you can send an email over, and I'm happy to elaborate on those cards that we just pulled. I hope that you're all well. Thank you so much for your questions. I'm hoping maybe to do another open question video. I think I'll leave this one up, actually, the video from last night. I think I'll leave it up, and if more people ask questions, then I'll do some more response videos. So be well, and thank you so much for supporting the channel. It's great to spend time with you. Blessings.